I'll jump to the next. This is very important. Consequential effect of settlement. Now, you must have come across various situations that an issue is decided or issue is settled. One issue is settled. Then what will be the implication of that settlement on the other issues? If settlement in the case of one assessment year, what will the implication in other assessment year? Or sometime when in the case of one assessee issue is settled, then consequential relief will be given to the other assessee or not. Now, you may refer for this situation, question number 31, 32, 35. 31 deal with the tedious matter, and so 32 also. 35 on substantive protective additions have been made. Now, in 31, they said that if 201 is settled, then 40I will go automatically. I have extended further that what about 271C penalty, because that is also a related matter and consequential and depend upon the issue of TDS under 201. I hope it should be covered. CBDT may come out with a clarification. Again, substantive protective addition, the board has favorably answered under 35, saying that where substantive addition has been made in one person and the protective other, and this substantive addition has been settled, then the protective will go, and they also directed the AO to pass rectificatory order. But then what if there is a reverse process? If the protective get it settled, then what about the substantive? So that is to be made clear. And when then more than 2 persons are there, I have covered up in my this PPT. Higher valuation of closing stock. We all know if closing stock is valued higher in this 14-15, automatically the opening stock should be increased. And there are several decisions, and celebrated amongst them is Mahindra Milvi Desai. So it says even in the context of VG Oil, they say that 154 also is eligible. So there should be clarity. The FAQ and the scheme does not speak anything. Similarly, 271D penalty. If addition has been made on account of the cash on under section 68, on the other hand, 271D is also there. Now 68 addition is get settled. Whether it will also provide you a relief under 270? If yes, then how and in what manner? Board clarifications are required. Rectification has been passed, reducing the income or enhancing the income. Yes, the board has said that you have to give effect to the order if already passed FAQ 25, because kindly see the language of 21J dispute tax is the tax has to be computed under the provisions of the Act. So we have to correctly assess the income, correctly compute the tax thereon. Now it may be a case whether the 154 is passed or is 154 pending, because I have also visualized a situation where 154 has been filed, but it is still pending. But to make normal submission such cases, and that it is decided say after 31st 20, but then also I think the effect has to be given, more particularly when the designated authority has also been given a power to amend his order. FAQ 46, 47 are important for that aspect. Some issues are regarding the amount paid by the declarant. Now, where there is decision by the Honorable Supreme Court, FAQ 36 says yes, issues fully covered. Now, there are two categories in section 3, second and third proviso. Second and third proviso says when appeal, second it says appeal is pending before the CIT appeal and you are before the ITAT, or when ITAT, you are before ITAT and you are before the High Court. There is an ITAT decision which is in your favor and that remains unreversed by the High Court or Supreme Court. Then the tax payable will be 50%, means 50% concession is there. Certain issues are arising from this are that in a case where the appeal is pending before ITAT and assessee says in the earlier year or later year they get another order in my favor, but by the ITAT, and now what is about that? The Act rule, everything is silent on that aspect. Now on cutoff date 31st January they should remain, or by the time the designated authority certified under section 5 on the amount payable, if the ITAT order get reversed, what will the amount taxable? 50% concession will there or not? To my mind, that would be taken back, because on the day when he's certifying on the 5-1, he'll have to take into account the latest position. Then, yes, regarding immunity aspect, section 5.3 says that the amount is conclusive, final, and no matter is stated therein, the department would not be able to reopen it. Section 6 grant immunity by the designated authority. The language drafting says that it is the designated authority who will not institute, proceed, or levy penalty. The EO impose penalty, interest also, so some clarification is required. Now the final certificate issued by the DA under section 5 determining the amount. No, I'm sorry. The next matter was when you have reached a settlement through the scheme, whether later on the department can reopen under 147 based on the audited objection, facts, material, or not. Now here, to my mind, the department can do so provided we are able to satisfy him that but in any case, we are able to satisfy that, look, what you have taken up under 147 is the same matter which was there in the scheme, or the matter now raised under 147 proceeding is the same which was earlier already there. You cannot say so, because such a language is that the finality or conclusiveness is only as to the matter stated therein, and no matters covered by it shall be reopened in any proceeding. But in a case where department is able to lay a hand on some other income altogether, and which is not covered or subject, which has not been subject matter of the VSB, then of course their right to take up the matter 147. I have quoted a Jodhpur Bench decision in the context of the earlier similar schemes, which you may please go through. Exclusions. Section 9 has provided certain categories from, say, 5 clauses are there. Some issues are there relating to prosecution, as well. Manish has also referred to. Section 25 is amended. Now, what is clarified is, it was already there that mere issuance of a prosecution notice is there by the authority. So that will not disentitle an assessee to offer VSC. That was already there, but what has now added, that if before the filing of the declaration, if the assessee comes up and get the matter compounded, then prosecution, then the assessee will also be held eligible to offer VSB. Now here one question arises, is what one really mean prosecution instituted, whether it is a mere filing or it is a matter where cognizance can be taken. Say for example, on 17 January 20, a complaint was filed by the Department of Economic Offence Code. On 21st January 20, declaration was filed, but the Economic Offence Code took cognizance 25th of January 20, whether such an assessee is eligible or not. To my mind, he should be. And we may make a reference to this decision of Honorable Supreme Court in Jamna Singh, that institution should always relate and mean to the date when the Honorable Court has taken cognizance. And mere paper filing of the complaint will not do. So in the given example, where on 20 January, he has already filed the declaration prior to, on 25th January, prior to taking off the cognizance by the court, I think taking support from this, he should be held eligible. Now, 9B2E, I just wanted to bring your notice that there are two categories of prosecution so far as income tax is concerned. One is section 9B, Romans 2, when prosecution has been launched, and we have just discussed. Yet another category is there in, say, in one of the clauses of section 9, where under IPC, IT authorities have a long prosecution. Bear in mind that here, so as exclusion relating to such matters are concerned, they speak of the demand relating to one particular year, and disability is reference to that year. Here, the disability is reference to any person. So, if prosecution has been launched, instituted, in case of a person relating to any year, he will be completely disqualified under these clauses. Relating to such matter and 5 crore limited, firstly that it is somewhere in my PPT, I'm missing it. But then one is that it is the direct tax only. Just one, 2, 4, 5 minutes or maybe given, I'll try to complete it.
2 minutes, please.
Now this for the purpose. Thanks. 5 crore, it is only direct tax. There is tax only, no interest penalty included. Secondly, it has to be seen year-wise, this limit. And supposing there is a case of penalty under section 271 AB, say more or less, but the penalty will not cover so far as this limitation aspect under section 9, one small a, this will not come in the way because BT does not include penalty. Now I raised the query when cash has been seized, whether the assessee can claim the adjustment when the declared amount is certified under file 1. Amount is seized, lying with them, there is a finality. So to my mind, why there is an existing liability, the assessee should be permitted. And similar question may arise when in 1 year there is a refund in one settlement, other there is a tax payable, whether there is an adjustment, scheme is silent, clarifications are required. Then there are maybe situation assessee is not able to make the payment because of financial difficulties. The only remedy is to rush to the Honorable High Court to certify them under Article 226. Some cases are there. I have cited in my write-up.